Are we live? Testing. 1, 2, 3. I think we're live, people. Hey, everybody, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 here, and welcome to another installment of the Linux Coffee House. I will get started in just a few minutes, but first, housekeeping. If you enjoy these live streams just as much as I do, then smash that like button, ring-a-ding that notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I also want to let you all know once again about the remaining schedule of live streams that I have for you all. Let me just go to it. Hang on just a minute. Okay. So go to content, and I should be able to see my schedule right here. Go to live. Perfect. Okay. The remainder of my schedule is as follows. December 24th, Christmas Eve, tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Dark Zero Zero Linux KDE live installation. Once again, December 24th, Christmas Eve at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then, the final live stream for 2023, December 27th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is the Dueling Book live tutorial live stream, where I'll be showing you all how Dueling Book works, from making a deck, setting up your account, and how a duel goes. So keep a lookout for that. These events are the remaining events for 2023. I did say last night at Edo Pro Duel Night plus Open Chat that the next Edo Pro Duel Night is January 5th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's the remainder of my schedule for 2023. Going into 2024. Hey, Benny. How you doing, bud? Welcome. Okay, I will give it a 5-minute warning, and then we will get started with today's news bulletins. Which, Benny boy, you're gonna like this. For a good portion of today's Linux news, we got some gaming news today. Yay! Okay. Let me just make sure that these articles are exactly the ones that I want, which they are. Very good. Very good indeed. And what I'm going to do, folks, just so I can see the live stream perfectly, I'm going to get the iPad in position, and I will be able to read your comments as I'm looking at this. This way we can have really good performance. Which, speaking of performance, I got to make sure that, yep, perfect. All right. Okay, so performance is good. Let me just arm up the iPad here and get the live stream going on this, just so I can see comments. Okay, go here. Come on. There we go. Now you might hear a little bit of sound coming from the iPad, people, but it's going to be okay. There we go. All right, so I got the live chat on my iPad now. So now I should be able to see the comments. Okay. Oh, Ricky, there's been some Gen 2 catalyst changes, so I'm trying building Gen 2. Oh, cool. Speaking of Calamaris, Ben, I do know that Calamaris got an update recently. The fixes in this update, by any chance, is Calamaris stable enough to where it won't break in Storm OS? That's something I need to know. Yep. 3.30. Okay. All right. Mm, see if you can test it on there when you get a chance, Ben. I want to see if it's more stable than the last version. And by the way, folks, just letting you all know, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the stream. I decided to switch my default web browser for the foreseeable future. Um, Going forward, all these live streams will be powered by the Chromium web browser instead of using Firefox, because I've been finding that Chromium is a bit more stable in some areas compared to Firefox in terms of maintaining live streams. So we're going to use Chromium for a little while and just see how that goes. So, because I think Firefox was one of the main with how Firefox was acting last night during Edo Pro Duel Night. I think that was one of the reasons why Jitsi kept turning off. So using Chromium going forward, I think might be the best option to maintain these live streams with a bit more stability. Oh, you're using Chromium as well. Good. Okay. Uh, in just about a minute, folks, we will be getting started. I already got my articles all ready to go. Oh, and by the way, folks, in case you're wondering, what my main Linux distribution that I'm using is currently, I am using Arco Linux LXQt. Very lightweight Linux distribution, very user friendly. With Arco Linux, what you want to do is, if anybody wants to try it out, just go to the just search up Arco Linux on Start Page or Brave Search, and go to their website, click downloads, go to the Arco Linux B downloads, the Arco Linux B, because the Arco Linux B downloads is Arco Linux with um, a um, a pre-configured window manager or desktop environment all ready to go. I got pretty much the LXQt version on most of my machines. And it's very lightweight, and it comes with my favorite window manager, OpenBox. So, a win-win. So yeah. Right now, when it comes to Linux distributions, my top 5 Linux distributions for beginners are Chrome OS Flex, Linux Mint, um, Zorin OS, Peppermint OS, and Arco Linux LXQ. That's pretty much my top 5 for the time being. Though my top 5 list will be changing over time here and there, depending on what other Linux distributions that I would consider, new user friendly. There are a couple other distros that are tying for one of the top 5 spots. Like, for example, I've had my eye on Manjaro XFCE. I've also had my eye on Debian, which Debian is rock solid, by the way, wonderful. And I've also had my eye on Standard Arch Linux as well. Which to everybody who is getting into Linux, by the way, I would not recommend Arch Linux as your first distro. I mean, there's many steps involved in installing Arch Linux. If you want to see how I install Arch Linux, you can go to my YouTube channel, which there will be a link down below, and you will be able to go to my live stream section, and I have a Arch Linux live stream that I did a little while back installing Arch Linux on UEFI with OpenBox. So there you go. But no, when it comes to my top 5 list, it will be changing periodically depending on, what I see as new user friendly. But anyway, that's pretty much it for my rambling. The 5 minutes has expired. I will now start to share my screen, and we will get started. Okay. Okay, so here is our first news item for the Linux Coffee House. Nintendo Switch online controller support coming with Linux 6.8. The Nintendo HID open source driver is being extended with the Linux 6.8 kernel to support the Nintendo Switch Online controllers. Nintendo has offered controllers of the classic game consoles of the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and N64 for use of the Nintendo Switch. These controllers are great for playing classic Nintendo games with the Nintendo Switch handheld, but now support is also coming to the mainline Linux kernel for these Nintendo Switch Online controllers. Queued in HID.gets for next branch ahead of the Linux 6.8 kernel merge window is the patch to the HID Nintendo driver for adding Nintendo Switch Online controller support. This patch has been successfully tested with the SNES, Sega Genesis, and N64 controllers. The HID controller Nintendo driver already supports the Nintendo Joy-Con and Pro controllers, while now this open source community maintained via reverse engineered driver can handle Nintendo's latest controller wares. See the A4 linked patch if interested in more details on this Nintendo Switch Online controller support. And as you can see, folks, these are the controllers right here that are supported, and they're very cheap to acquire, too. Very nice prices. Okay, next up in our gaming news, Razer Wolverine V2 controller support coming with Linux 6.7. With a set of input driver patches set to be merged today for the Linux 6.7 release candidate 6 kernel, the XPad driver is adding support for Razer Wolverine's V2 Xbox controller. Razer Wolverine V2 is a wired gaming controller focused on the Xbox game consoles. If you are wanting to use Xbox Wolverine V2 for some Linux gaming, the XPad driver with Linux 6.7 will support this controller. Given the compatibility with Xbox specifications, just adding the new vendor product ID for this device is enough to get the controller support in shape. The Razer Wolverine V2 support is part of this Fixes poll that also includes enabling Synaptics InterTouch for the Lenovo ThinkPad L14G1 as another notable change. The Linux 6.7 stable release is expected January 7th. On to some Intel news for you all. Intel is hosting an open source, a free and open source community survey for developers. In helping to guide Linux open source interests in 2024, the company is hosting a free and open source community survey. Intel is looking for feedback from free and open source developers and other community stakeholders about your principal interests and concerns. Intel remains one of the top free and open source contributors to the Linux kernel and related key free and open source projects, as well as hosting countless of their own wonderful free and open source projects for helping guide their focus and better understanding the free and open source community's needs and interests. They are hosting this community survey over the next few weeks. And if you all want to read the rest of this, feel free to, but this will give you some info on the community survey itself. Next article is a bit of news from Tuxedo Computers. Tuxedo Computers updates its Linux Control Center software. Bavarian Linux PC vendor Tuxedo Computers has announced Tuxedo Control Center 2.1 as their newest update to this software for managing your notebook's vitals from the Linux laptop. Tuxedo Control Center makes it easy to manage system and power profiles, altering CPU performance and power behavior, managing fan behavior, keyboard backlit controls, webcam quality settings, and monitoring and tweaking various other hardware attributes on Tuxedo laptops. Today's Tuxedo Control Center 2.1 release brings a revised dashboard, granular and more customizable fan control, battery charging profiles, and automatic display refresh rate adjustment support for extending battery lives. The Tuxedo Control Center software is catered just to run on their own laptops, but this GUI control center is indeed free and open source software under the GNU GPL version free license on GitHub. Those wishing to learn more about the Tuxedo Control Center 2.1 software can do so at tuxedocomputers.com. And before we get to our final article of the Linux Coffee House, I just want to reiterate, if you enjoy these live streams just as much as I do, then smash that like button, ring-a-ding that notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Your support is always welcome. I love you guys. And without further ado, let's get to the final article of the Linux Coffee House. Lab Wayland Compositor 0.7 released ported to WL Roots 0.17. Lab Wayland Compositor Lab WC is out with a new version ahead of Christmas for this WL Roots based Windows stacking compositor inspired by the OpenBox window manager. Lab Wayland Compositor 0.7 has been ported over to the latest WL Roots 0.17 library that improves its Vulkan renderer code, adds support for new Wayland protocols, and makes other improvements. The new LabWC release also adds support for title bar hover icons, new theme options, cursor shape v1, and fractional scale v1 protocol support, enhance interoperability with X11 desktop components, and fixes a number of different bugs. Downloads and more details on the LabWC 0.7 release via GitHub. And with that, folks, that is it for all my articles. I will give it another 5 minutes and we will wrap things up, people. Once again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, so much for coming. If you enjoy these live streams just as much as I do, then smash that like button, ring a ding that notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Your support is loved and appreciated. Thank you. Once again, for the one more time, I want to go over the final events for 2023. Let me just bring the map back up one more time for those who are coming in and are not aware of these events. You're about to know what they are. Okay, so we got two final events for 2023 here. On December 24th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is Dark Zero Zero Linux KDE live installation. So keep a lookout for that. Also, the last event for 2023, December 27th at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is the Dueling Book tutorial live stream, where I pretty much go over how Dueling Book works, how to set up an account, how to make a deck, and how to duel on there. I will go in explicit detail in this event, so keep a lookout for that. So what I'm going to do for the remaining minutes of this live stream is I'm going to look at your comments. Okay, what we got down here? I'm using Chromium 2, Ricky. That's good. Chromium's nice. Yeah, yes. Plus, I prefer either Chrome or Chromium web browsers. Yeah. When it comes to Chrome/Chromium web browsers, they're better for live streaming purposes. A lot better. Okay. Okay, I'm just making sure, folks, that there's no other news that I need to save for the next Linux Coffee House, and there seems to be not anything right now. Which, if you're wondering, the next Linux Coffee House will be sometime in 2024. I just don't know when yet. Okay. By the way, I'm not going to karate today, or you. Yeah, I will be available after this, Ben. If you can just give me a little bit to get some stuff done, I will be right over there once after this live stream is finished. Okay, folks, just letting you know there's a 3-minute warning, and we will be wrapping things up here. Okay. 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 I think our time is up for this live stream. I'm gonna head on out of here, everybody. This has been the Linux Coffee House. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Like I said, the next one will be sometime in 2024. Keep a lookout for that. Um, and as I said earlier, there are two final events that I have scheduled for this year. Keep a lookout for those as well. But until then, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Master 88 saying see you later. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. I will see you back here next time.